Hello everybody, this is Molly, and today's video is about actually two new partnerships that we have with Lyft. So this month, that's October, we'll be launching two separate Lyft partnerships. Both of these partnerships are going to be very narrow in scope. So we don't anticipate the surge in calls that many of you remember that we received during the last project. And we also do not anticipate the same amount of misuse of the program. So the first partnership, it's called Ride United, and it's a partnership with United Way Worldwide. And for this partnership, we received $1,800 from Lyft and $15,000 from General Motors in order to provide medical transportation for senior citizens. And we're keeping this very narrow by working exclusively with clients of two senior centers, and that's going to be the East End Neighborhood House and Senior Citizen Resources. Both of those agencies had cuts in transportation funds from United Way, so this is a nice way for us to kind of make that up to them. The amount that we receive from Lyft may increase, and actually has already increased as a result of a program that they have going on right now called Round Up and Donate. So I don't know if any of you ever use Lyft or have used Lyft recently, but they are asking their customers to round their fares up to the nearest dollar and then donate the change to their favorite charity. And one of the options of charities that they can donate to is this Ride United program. So both the East End Neighborhood House and Senior Citizen Resources offer a limited transportation service for their clients. When their clients have a medical transportation need that's beyond the scope of their program, then they're going to be told to call 211. So what we mean by beyond the scope of their program, both of those senior centers have a certain radius as far as how far that their vans are able to travel. So if it's outside of that radius, we will be able to help them out through Ride United. They also have guidelines as far as how soon in advance that you have to schedule an appointment. So if they need an appointment right away, or if they need a return trip from the emergency room, they are able to utilize this Ride United program. And just kind of sidebar, during last year's programs, rides were limited to only within Cuyahoga County. For this, if they need to go outside of the county, that's okay. There's no limitation as far as how far that we're able to take them for this program. So the clients of these two senior centers are going to be instructed to say that they are a client of either East End Neighborhood House or Senior Citizens Resources when they call us to schedule a ride. And then again, these rides are either for a medical appointment or for a return trip from the ER. And a little bit later on in this video, I will be showing you the text that's in the document that we sent over to these two senior centers, so you can kind of get an idea of what we are how we're telling them they're able to utilize the program. Okay, so the next partnership that we have is with Cuyahoga County Department of Job and Family Services. And this is a 1-month pilot program, and this is very specific. It's to provide transportation for able-bodied adults without dependents, also known as ABODs, to Job and Family Services for face-to-face appointments. So the reason that we're doing this is a lot of ABODs have been kicked off of their SNAP benefits for not appearing at Job and Family Services for face-to-face appointments. So the purpose of the pilot is to help these clients maintain their benefits by eliminating a transportation barrier. So sometime this month, Job and Family Services is going to be mailing out letters to 200 ABODs stating that they must come into the office for a face-to-face appointment. And the letter will say that if they need transportation to the appointment, to call 211. The only place that the client can schedule a Lyft for is at a Job and Family Service office. So we're not taking them anywhere else, just there. And then also, I forgot to put it in the PowerPoint here, but once they've completed their appointment, the Job and Family Service worker that they're meeting with will arrange for the return trip. So all we're doing is scheduling for the trips there. Job and Family will handle scheduling for the return trips. Okay, so searching in Refer, the Lyft program can be found using the following taxonomies. So for the Job and Family Service program, it's local automobile transportation with a target to food stamp recipients. And then for the partnerships with the senior centers, we will use medical transportation and also medical transportation with a target to veterans. They don't have any sort of special program for veterans, but United Way Worldwide wants us to track the number of veterans that we're serving in this program. So just make sure if your caller says that they're a veteran, to use that veteran target when recording the referral to that program. Okay. Hopefully nobody will have complaints, but I think we all know that at some point at least one person will have a complaint. So what we would want to do to log those complaints is you're going to use the taxonomy Transportation Network Company Rides Complaints. And when you do a search using that, you're going to find us coming up on your match list. So you're going to save your referral to United Way 211 for this. And then in Refer, it's going to instruct you to fill out a data form and email it to 211supervisor@unitedwaycleveland.org. So we'll take a look in Refer and show you how to do that in just a little bit here. Okay, so using the Lyft portal, the portal does not use usernames or passwords. Any emails from Lyft are most likely going to go into your junk email. So make sure that you check in there for any email communication from Lyft. You will be sent a secured link each time that you log into the system. And if that link expires, you would need to go back to your start page enter your work email address again and wait for a new secure link to be emailed to you. The portal will time out after 24 hours, so there shouldn't be a need to log on more than one time per shift. And what's going to be new this time around, since we have two separate Lyft partnerships that are going on right now, Lyft is going to be adding tabs into the concierge portal so that we can track the JFS and the United Way Worldwide partnerships separately. So there is, I've put into Degreed some trainings on how to use, it's essentially 3 short videos that Lyft created. They're tutorials on how to use the portal, schedule the ride, schedule the rides, cancel the rides, and all of those things. It is very intuitive for those of you who've not used it before. But you will see that when you view those videos. Okay, so the next steps, there are going to be, there's these links, get.lyft.com/211concierge. You'll be clicking on that link. And then click on Launch Training to start your Lyft portal trainings. There's 3 training modules that need to be completed before you're able to access the portal. And so here's the link here. I will be making this PowerPoint available to all of you, but also this link is embedded into Degreed, so you'll be able to easily get to where you need to be. Okay, and again, you'd click the link below, click on Launch Concierge. You'll be prompted to enter your work email address. So that's first initial, last name at unitedwaycleveland.org. For most of you, there's a couple of you whose emails are slightly different, but you know your work email. After you enter your email, click on Next. That's when the secured link will be sent to your email. Check your email, possibly your junk folder. Open the email from Lyft. Click on the link in the email, and then you are able to access the concierge portal, and you can schedule your rides. So something that's a little bit different from the last time that we had a Lyft program running is now there is going to be a Lyft skill in contact. The reason for this is since the last Lyft project, we have added 3 team members, 3 navigation specialists who use JAWS. And for those of you who are not familiar, JAWS stands for Job Access with Speech. So this is a program that our visually impaired staff use so that they are able to read what's on their screen. And unfortunately, the Lyft Concierge is not compatible with JAWS. We have been told that they are working on making it compatible, but it's going to take some time, and I imagine that that is not going to happen before the end of these 2 partnerships. So, you know, maybe next time around, if we do this again at some point, maybe that'll be compatible, but for right now it's not. So what's going to happen is if a caller calls in and speaks with one of our JAWS users and they need to schedule a Lyft ride, the JAWS user is going to ensure that the caller is eligible for the program. And then they are going to cold transfer the caller to this new Lyft skill. Everyone other than our JAWS users is going to be assigned the Lyft skill. And just a reminder, do not reskill anything to the Lyft skill unless you're a JAWS user. So if a call is presented to you, it would be through the Cuyahoga skill, and your caller says that they need to schedule a Lyft ride and they meet the criteria. Do not reskill it. Go ahead and handle it. The only people that should be reskilling those calls to this Lyft skill are those who use JAWS. Okay. So next I want to show you the document that we've sent over to the senior centers, and this is, sorry for it not being all pretty. We sent it, of course, on letterhead, but the gist is here. So as a client of Senior Citizen Resources or East End Neighborhood House, you are eligible to participate in Ride United, a grant-funded program that provides non-emergency medical transportation in circumstances where your senior center is not able to provide you with a ride. Ride United is being offered through a partnership with Lyft and United Way 211. When your senior center is unable to provide you with medical transportation, either because your appointment is outside of their service area or because you're unable to schedule the ride far enough in advance, your senior center will suggest that you call 211 for free Lyft service. You may call to schedule a Lyft as early as 3 days in advance, or you may call for an on-demand ride that will be dispatched within minutes. When you call to schedule your Lyft, tell the specialist who answers the phone that you are a client of East End Neighborhood House or Senior Citizen Resources. This is a special program only for clients of those two senior centers. If you have a cell phone, once the ride is dispatched, you will receive a text message with the driver's full name, make, model, and color of their car, and their license plate number. If you do not have a cell phone and you need a ride right away, you will be asked to remain on the line until a driver is dispatched. The 211 specialist will provide you with those details. If you do not have a cell phone and you need to schedule a ride in advance, you will receive an automated phone call minutes before your pickup window providing you with this information. You will be called once. If you use this option, make sure you are near your phone, close to your scheduled ride time. Okay. Then we have a section here of frequently asked questions. What is Lyft and what is 211? I'm not going to go through that because you guys are familiar with that. What information is shared with me about me with the Lyft driver? The driver will only know your first name, the address where you are being picked up, and the address where you're being dropped off. The driver will not know your last name, phone number, or that you're a client of Senior Citizens Resources, East End Neighborhood House, or United Ways 211. Is it okay if my caregiver rides along with me? Yes, it is. What if I need to cancel a pre-scheduled ride? You must cancel at least 1 hour prior to your pickup window. Call 211 and tell the specialist who answers you need to cancel your pre-scheduled Lyft ride. And just kind of sidebar here, we actually have to cancel the rides a half hour in advance, at least a half hour in advance, in order to avoid a cancellation fee. So just to give us some wiggle room, we've told the clients of the senior centers that they have to cancel at least an hour in advance. So I just wanted to let you know that. What if I need a ride home from a hospital stay or emergency room visit on a weekend, evening, or holiday? You can call 211 at any time to get a Lyft. 211 is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week service. Do I need to tip my driver? No. Users of this special program are not expected to tip the driver. Are there wheelchair access accessible vehicles. Unfortunately, Lyft does not have very many drivers with accessible vehicles. However, if you have a foldable wheelchair or other mobility aid that can fit in the trunk of a traditional sedan, then this program will be able to accommodate you. Can my service animal ride with me? Yes, service animals can go along with them. I left something behind in the Lyft. What should I do? Call 211 as soon as you're aware that you left something behind. Tell the specialist who answers the phone, and 211 will reach out to Lyft, and Lyft will contact the driver. So another sidebar here, what's going to be a little bit different this year is that you as the specialist will be able to submit a report, or I don't want to say report, maybe a notification to Lyft right through Concierge, notifying that a rider has left something behind. What if I'm treated poorly during my Lyft ride? How do I report it? Call 211 to file a complaint. The 211 specialist will ask for your phone number, the date and time of your ride, and a description of what happened. All right. At this point, we don't yet have the letter that Job and Family Services is sending out to their ABOD clients. But if we receive a copy of that, then I'll make sure to forward that on to all of you. Okay, so now I wanted to hop into Refer and show you guys how to search and record these transactions. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start a new contact, and I'm going to select the Cuyahoga Access site. Again, this program is only available for Cuyahoga County residents. The ABODs at Job and Family Services, these are just through Cuyahoga County Job and Family Services. And then for these two senior centers, they are located in Cleveland, one on the east side, East End Neighborhood House, and then the other one on the west side, which is Senior Citizen Resources. Okay, so Mike added into the category search. If we go to 211 Special Projects, right in between Help to Veterans and MedRefer, you will see Lyft rides. So this may be the easiest way for you to find this. When I expand it, there are a few taxonomies that you're going to see in there. The first one here, this is for our Job and Family Service Program, local automobile transportation with a target to food stamp or /SNAP recipients. Medical transportation is primarily what you're going to be using for the clients of the senior centers. However, please make sure to ask those folks if they are a veteran. If they are a veteran, use medical transportation with the target to veterans. This is important because United Way Worldwide wants for us to track the number of veterans who make use of this program. So just be mindful of that. And then the last taxonomy that you're seeing in here is Transportation Network Company Ride Complaints. And so that is going to be if one of our clients calls us back and has some sort of complaint about the service that they received. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to put in a downtown zip code here. And I'll make this a female, and I'm gonna leave out the age for the purposes of this demonstration, only because it's going to be two separate age groups that will be utilizing these programs. ABODs are going to be younger adults, and then the medical transportation program is just for the seniors. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the Job and Family Service one first. And of course, you don't have to use this category search. If you memorize these taxonomy and you want to do a taxonomy search, that's fine. It's going to get you the same result. So here you have is our program that's the partnership with Job and Family Services. It's through United Way 211, and it says Transportation Assistance Lyft Rides, SNAP in-person verification. This service is only for individuals who have a SNAP benefit re-verification appointment at the Virgil Brown Job and Family Service location. Right now, this is just saying it's activated for training, but that won't be there when this service is actually activated. So I'm going to skip past the unpublished section for right now. And you will see we're going to start by talking about the program description. Provides on-demand automobile transportation for clients who need to appear in person at Virgil Brown location of Job and Family Services for a SNAP benefit verification. Lyft screens and hires local drivers as independent contractors. Ride availability is not guaranteed as it is based on the availability of drivers at the requested time and near the desired pickup or drop-off location. So we have to put that little disclaimer in there. So how service is provided to the Virgil Brown Job and Family Service Building at 1641 Payne Avenue. Cleveland 44114. Client should only be scheduled for a ride to this location. Job and Family Service employees will arrange for the client's ride back home after the appointment has been completed. Who qualifies? Cuyahoga County residents who have an appointment for SNAP benefit re-verification at Virgil Brown JFS. Rides are free. And clients should not tip the driver. Okay. Rides are only available to the Virgil Brown building, which is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. Rides can be scheduled up to 7 days in advance. Okay. No required documents. How to access? They're going to call 211. 211 specialist should open the Lyft portal and collect the necessary information to schedule the rides. Once a ride has been scheduled in the Lyft portal, clients with cell phones will receive 2 text messages. The first will confirm that the ride has been scheduled. The second will alert the client that the driver is on their way and will provide them with a description of the vehicle and the license plate number. If the client does not have a cell phone, the specialist will stay on the phone with the client until the driver's information, which will be found in the Lyft portal, is available. The client's phone number is never shared with the Lyft driver. If the ride has been scheduled more than a few minutes ahead of time and the client does not have a cell phone, the client will, instead of a text message, receive an automated call to their landline phone with their driver's information. Clients should be close to their phone near the beginning of their ride window, as they will only receive 1 call. All right. So some of this that I just went through will be similar with our senior center programs. So in the unpublished section, this is going to detail what you need to do in order to schedule that ride. 211 specialists are dispatchers for this service. To schedule rides, specialists must log into the dispatch portal by visiting www.lyft.com/dispatch/login and enter your email address. Now, just a sidebar to kind of remind you guys, if you want to do it this way, this might be helpful. You can copy and paste this website out of Refer and into your web browser, but in order to do that, you have to hit this Copy Display button first. And then you even get instructions up top to copy this information, highlight what you want, right click and select copy, or use Control C. So I could just copy this and then paste it into a browser, which I'm not going to go ahead and do right now. Oops. Okay. An email with a link to the dispatch portal will then be sent to the specialist. Specialist should open the portal from the emailed link using Google Chrome. The link to the portal will expire within 24 hours. So Chrome is the preferred web browser for the Lyft concierge. Rides can be scheduled up to 7 days in advance. To schedule, search for the client's phone number prior to scheduling a new ride. If the number appears with previous rides, have a conversation with the client to ensure, I'm sorry, this little piece is from last time, so you don't need to worry about that part. Okay, when scheduling a ride, use the internal note field to record the refer transaction ID for the current contact. So that's going to be a required field in the Lyft portal. And just as a reminder, your refer transaction ID can be found up here in the upper right-hand corner of refer. So in this circumstance, we have 36074, or I'm sorry, 7744, right? This is really important. It's for tracking purposes. Okay, after the ride is scheduled, you should stay connected to the client and logged into the portal until the ride is confirmed. For clients without cell phones, the specialist has to stay connected until you are able to see and relay the driver's name and identifying vehicle information. The dispatch portal will allow you the ability to track ride status, view a caller's ride history, and submit a lost property report to Lyft's Lost and Found on behalf of your client. And if you have a rider complaint, you want to use the taxonomy Transportation Network Ride Complaints. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the program for the senior centers. So a lot of this text is going to be the same. Okay, so you'll see here we have, actually let me do this. United Way, this is a service of United Way 211. And we have it kind of broken down here. Lyft rides for non-emergency medical appointments would be the first ones. You would use either medical transportation or medical transportation with a target for the veteran, if your caller tells you that they're a veteran. We have a separate a separate way to record Lyft rides, or I should say a separate program for Lyft rides that are returns from the emergency room. So if you have a client of Senior Citizen Resources or East End Neighborhood House that's returning from the emergency room, we want to make sure we save it to this program here. And again, if they're a veteran, make sure you use the veteran target. And then for services at the VA, services for substance use treatment. I don't expect that we will have too many of these because generally the VA is going to provide medical transportation for clients or patients that need it. So you may have very few, if any, that would fall under these categories. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. You're going to see the unpublished notes are going to be the same from what you saw in the last one. The ride description is fairly similar. On-demand automobile transportation for clients who have non-emergency medical appointment or other medical transportation need. And then the bit about Lyft screening and hiring local drivers, that's all the same. Who qualifies is going to be different here. It says, to be eligible, individuals must be clients of either Senior Citizens Resources or the East End Neighborhood House. A Lyft ride should only be used if the medical transportation services of those agencies are not able to meet the client's needs, either because the destination is too far away or the transportation service is not able to accommodate the client. Clients may only use a ride for non-emergency needs, such as a medical appointment or return trip from the emergency room. Rides may be provided both to and from the location. Lyft rides are able to accommodate a maximum of 4 individuals, the client plus 3 others. Clients must provide car seats for children aged 3 or younger, or weighing less than 40 pounds. Clients who use a wheelchair or other type of mobility aid will need to be able to fold up the wheelchair and or mobility aid and fit it inside of the car. Will accommodate service animals. And then the rest of this is going to be exactly the same as what we just looked at in the Job and Family Service Program. Okay, now the last piece here that I want to talk about is complaints. So Transportation Network Company Rides Complaints is the taxonomy. And when we do our search, you will see us, United Way 211. And we're going to open it up. Service description, report, complaints regarding Lyft rides scheduled by 211. So this is only for rides scheduled by us, not any other user for Lyft. Complaints may be made in regards to the driver's performance or behavior, or in regards to the condition or cleanliness of the vehicle. All right, and then how to access, they're going to call 211. And the specialist will submit the details of the complaint and the client's contact information to Lyft. Lyft may contact the client to request more details or to report on the outcome of the complaint, but they do not guarantee any direct follow-up. All right, and then you'll see in the unpublished, after recording the referral for Transportation Network Company Ride Complaints, fill out the data form using the Lyft Ride Complaint checkbox. Email the form to the supervisor by selecting Transportation Network Company Ride Complaint template, clicking Save, and then email the data form and send it to 211 supervisor at unitedwaycleveland.org. Okay, so the process is very similar to what you're used to for any of those other data forms that we have to fill out. So here I'm going on over to the data page. And in the contact markers, I am clicking on Lyft Ride Complaints. And then the form is pretty straightforward. Date of ride, approximate time of ride, passenger's full name and telephone number, and if possible, the phone number that they used to schedule the ride. And then you have some space here to describe what occurred. From there, you will hit Save. And then you're going to email the data form. I might have to put something in here. If it closes like that, you're going to go down here to the saved forms, double click it to reopen. Email data form. You're going to select the template, which is Lyft ride complaints. And then in the box, you're emailing it to 211supervisor@unitedwaycleveland.org and hitting send. And then either myself or one of the supervisors will follow up with that complaint with Lyft. All right, so if you have any questions or concerns, please shoot me an email, let me know, and I can provide any clarification needed. Thanks for participating in this training, and happy lifting.